All right, so the next assembly we're going to create. So I'm going to go back to the home tab. I'm going to, excuse me, click on assembly, create assembly. And this time I'm going to say 56.5 foot right away with parking on right side. Okay. And it's going to be parallel parking, but I'm not going to write that in. So I'm going to pick here, and then I'm going to go back to my palettes. So I'm going to go lanes. I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to go, there's not going to be any curb. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to do it like this. I'm going to go ahead and extend the lane to 6.5 feet. So I'm going to do it again. No, I'm not going to create a second lane. So 11 and 6.5 feet would be 17.5 feet. I'll just make it 17.5 feet. And notice that it's going to be in type F curb on the right. So I'm going to go, excuse me, medians, urban curb and gutter general. Click that there. And then I'm going to go generic, and I'm going to go length, width, slope, and then I'm going to go not lanes, generic, basic lane. I'm going to put that up here, and then I'm going to go generic, length, width, and slope. All right, now I'm going to correct these. I'm going to move this out over. Go ahead and close that out. Click on the lane. So we said that was going to be 17.5. All right. It's still 2%, so it's draining down to the curb and gutter. Just let's double check our curb and gutter length. You can't always assume whatever the computer does is correct. It's always good to check. So it is 2. We're going to change that to 7 at 6%. I'm going to change this to 5 at a positive 2%. And we're going to change that to 105. This allows me to grade out my lot at 1%. Now I'm going to do the same thing I did before, is I'm going to mirror this. So I select all of that, and I'm going to click on, once the contextual ribbon comes up, I'm going to click on mirror, and I'm going to pick the button. Now, since this is on the right side, the parking is on the right side, this should only be 11 feet. So I'm going to change it to 11. Now, I like to double check to make sure that the lengths are correct. So from the back of sidewalk to the back of sidewalk, it better be 56.5. So that's my typical section with the parking on the right. Now, here's the nice thing. You can actually highlight that. Click on all of this and copy. Now, when you click on that one, notice that it has a 2 next to it. So I can, with the properties palette open, click on it again. With the property palette open, I can double click on the word right, type in left, and then delete that. Some people actually write what it is underneath. Give it a little label if that's what you wish. Now remember, you have to switch. So this is now going to become 11, snap, 11, and this is going to become 17 and a half. Can't type today, 17 and a half. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a piece of text so I'll know which ones are which. So I'm just going to copy the text that I had over there and put it up here. So I'll just say this one is 50-foot right-of-way when you click on the center line, it'll bring it up here. So I'm going to go Control C for copy, double click, double left click, and Control V for paste. This doesn't have to be pretty. This is just for your use inside the drawing. Control copy, double click left, and paste. All right. So now we've got our corridor set, or I'm sorry, our assembly set. What we're going to do is we're going to attach an assembly to the center line of the proposed road. It's always got to be of the proposed road, okay? Now, I'm going to go ahead and do one thing. I'm going to change, because I need to be able, for me visually, I'd like to see this in a different color. So I'm going to go right click, edit profile view, style. And that's not what I wanted, sorry. Right click, profile view properties, there it is. Underneath the style here, I'm going to do a display. Everything right now is white. So I'm going to change, see how it says see road profile in? I don't think I can change it here. I might be able to. I don't recommend changing it this way. I'm not going to change it this way. I'm going to do it by layer because you'll get caught up if you don't do it properly. Okay, stop, by layer. Okay, see profile, see road prof in. So LA. So I'm going to type in here see road prof in. I'm going to change that to green. Let's say a little selector tool of green comes up, and now my new road profile is green. All right, I just need to see something in a little bit different color. So now what I'm going to do, like I said, is I'm going to attach my 50-foot right-of-way to the center line of the road, okay? So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you another quick, easy command. I like to split so I can see a lot of the screen. So I'm going to leave my profile down here, and I'm going to go up to view, and I'm going to come over to viewport configuration. Now this is just visual. It doesn't do anything to your drawing. I'm going to split it into horizontal so I can look at two things at once, okay? I like it to do this because it kind of makes it easier than having to pan back and forth. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach this assembly to the center line of the road, okay? Now, I'm also going to modify this so I can show you how both of these, actually I'm going to show you how to use all three of these. The first thing that I want to do is, let's say, just for the fun of it, let's say that this, and this, oops, just those two, these two are gone, okay? Let's say those two are gone. And to clear up this, I'm gonna turn the surface off. So I'm gonna click on the contours, and I'm gonna come over here with my property palettes, and there's a style. I'm gonna pull that style down and say no display, just so I can have a clean visual. Okay, and then on this side, let me get rid of that piece of text. I want to get rid of this lot here. So I'm going to shorten this one up. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to create from the start to here is going to be the 50-foot right-of-way on both sides. And then from this station here to this station here, I'm going to put the parking on which is going to be going from 10 to 15, let's say, is going to be on my right side. And then we'll say 13 to 14 we'll do parking on the left side. So let me just show you that. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come up to the Home tab, and I'm going to go to corridor, and I'm going to click on the word corridor, and I'm going to say Street A. Always give them proper names so you can attach it. Everything is going to be default for right now. Baseline is alignments. We're not going to do feature lines. Alignment is street. You need to make sure you change the profile to Street A because that's the center line of our road. And the assembly we're going to start with is the right-of-way. Okay. There's not going to be a target surface, so leave as is. And I'm just going to click and go OK. Now, let me move this down here. I said that we were going to go from 10 to, I'm just going to eyeball it, 10 to 1150. Now, I need to change the assembly. So I'm going to click on, cancel. I am going to right click and I'm going to insert a region after. And that region name, I don't technically have to give it, hold on, right click. Yeah, region after. I'm going to change that. I'm not going to give it a name. I'm going to say the parking is going to be on the right side. And I need to, I'll move this out a little bit. I'm going to change that to 1150. 11. So I'm going to say 1150. I could put the plus in there. Ugh. Let me go to my tool space. Okay, so 1150, and then it's going to start at 1150. And I'm going to add another region after this one. And all I did was click and then right click. And then it's going to be on the left side. Okay. Okay. And this one's going to go to 13 plus 0, 0. And then it's going to go from 1300 to too many zeros. 1300 to the end. Actually, no, I won't. It'll go to 1450. So 1450. And then I'm going to right click. After I type that, I'm going to right click, insert another region after. And it's going to go back to the 50-foot right-of-way. Now that 50-foot right-of-way is going to have to stop at 1550 because the cul-de-sac isn't within a 50-foot. That has to be specially graded. So I'm going to say 1500. Apply, rebuild, and then OK. Now what it did is the purple lines aren't, you're not going to be using them, but it just shows you how the corridor looks. So it bumps out, puts the parking on that side, bumps out, puts the parking on this side, and then comes back. Well, realistically, we can't have the parking here. We'd end up losing this lot. So I'm going to go ahead and lose the lot just because we're practicing. Now, we're not going to do anything with these purple lines. So I tend to freeze mine off. So I'm going to go ahead and go freeze. Now, it's still there if you look at your tool space. Now underneath your project, you have, scroll down, you have the corridors. And if I click on that, you can see all of them here. All right. Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to create a surface on that, so it'll help me spot grade out. All right. Now, the reason we have to deal with parking is the new rule, or the rule with the LDC says that you have to have one parking space for every 2 units, an additional parking space. So it's 4.5 units per single family. All right. So each house can hold 4 cars, but you have to make up that extra half a space or 1 space for every 2 units. All right. So now what I'm going to do is when the corridor is highlighted, because I don't want to have to do the math all the time. When the corridor is already highlighted, when the street is highlighted underneath corridors, I'm going to go Properties. Now, you're going to click on the tab that says Surface. Don't worry about these other ones. You want to click on the tab that says Surface. You're going to pull this down to say Top, because you want the top codes. That's the top of the road. This little button here says Create a Surface. So you're going to click on that. And then you're going to hit plus. So it puts the top surface. You're going to go Apply, Rebuild, OK. And now you've got a surface, okay? Which it makes it a lot nicer to do spot grades. So if I had to do a spot grade, then I would come over here, Annotate, Add Labels. You'll get a tab that comes up like this. There's a lot of different ways. So when you get into the company, your company might have a different way to do it. This is how I do it. So on the feature, you're going to go Surface. You're going to do a spot elevation. We're only going to do elevation only. You've got other options. Add. Now, down here it says select a surface, because we actually have 2 surfaces in here. So I'm going to hit the space bar or enter. I want to do street A surface. Okay. Now, I like to check things. So I'm going to hit the midpoint or the intersection at this point right here. So at 12 plus 0, 0, it better say 8142, 8142. Absolutely. Now, the other nice thing is you can actually drag it, down the street. Let's take a look at 1450. So click down here. 1450 has 8199. So perfect. Now we have to check to see if it actually works across. So we know that 11 times 0.02 is 0.22, right? So I'm going to grab this to the center. And all I'm doing is just checking to make sure the surface worked properly. If I took 8199 minus 0.22, I am going to get 8177. Now, depending what the elevation difference, let me scroll over here. So I'm going to take, and I'm going to go to Annotate, Linear. I want to see what the elevation difference between the back of curb and the front of curb is. So I'm going to go from endpoint to endpoint. Our perpendicular is fine. Nope. I don't know why it's not snapping to that point right there. That's very odd. I'm just going to eyeball it. I don't always suggest to do that, but just to show you. So I'm going to snap here, and I'm going to snap to this end point here. Elevation difference is 0.22. So if I took this and I snapped it over, it should be shift right click, perpendicular, back up to adding 0.22 to it. So far so good. The surface is matching what we said. So 7 feet at 6% is 0.42. So if I add 0.42 to 81.99, I'm going to get 82.41. So shift perpendicular, 82.41. Now let's test the other ones.